Hello everyone, and welcome back to Bubble Bunny Tarot. So today is the winter solstice, and I thought it would be a very good opportunity to do a tarot reading. And this specific tarot reading is one that was also requested by my followers on Instagram. So this reading specifically is going to be a love reading. It's just gonna be a love reading in general, so it's not specifically geared towards any particular group of people, but maybe stick around and see if there's something that you could learn, because we could all learn something, whether we're in a relationship or not, from the tarot cards. So I've got my 3 decks over here. Each one will be used for its own individual reading, and we also have our stones. So pile number 1 is going to be the Gentle Thrills Tarot, and the stone is this beautiful Aquamarine, quite very square in its shape. Aquamarine is a wonderful stone for the heart, since it has calming properties, and sailors used to carry it when they would go on voyages or travel on the sea. So I'll put that guy there. Then the second pile is going to be the Divine Tarot. Oops, sorry. The Divine Tarot. And I believe this is blue Jasper, also known to be good for the heart. You can tell, but it does have some little ridges in it of gray. Very beautiful. And then the last pile is going to be the Kawaii Tarot. And then the stone that goes with it is the Quartz Geode crystal for cleansing energies. So these are all going to be the 3 different piles, and then we will also clarify with the Rider Tarot deck as needed. Sorry. And then for the Oracle cards, we'll be using the Literary Witches, just like last time. And then Crystal deck, just like last time as well. So we'll begin preparing the piles, and then we'll go from there. Okay, pile number 1. So we have your card deck over here and your crystal. So I'll put the crystal right there, and I'll just begin to prepare the pile. Start off with your tarot cards. And in terms of the question, I'll try to keep it kind of the same timeline as the last video. So what is some advice for pile number 1 for love? From now, it's too many cards. What is some advice for pile number 1 in terms of love? between now and 20 or the beginning of 2023? What is some advice towards love? This one's good. What is some advice in terms of love? What is some advice for pile number 1 for love between now 2023? This one. Okay. So that is looks like we should have 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. This guy's playing up over there. Oracle cards. One. The overall. Well, one is advice. Pile number 1. More love. This one. What is the advice in terms of love? Pile number 1. So this one. Okay. So we got those 2 oracle cards, and we'll get 1 crystal. What is some advice? File number 1. Some advice for pile number 1. Love from now. This one. Okay. So, pile number 1. Try to keep yours over here off to the side with your crystal, just so I make sure the piles don't get messed up again. Okay, pile number 2. The Jasper. Fancy Jasper. Okay. What is some advice? Ooh, pile number 2. I didn't even get to say the question that time. The cards already know my intention. What is the advice for pile number 2 for love from December to the beginning 2023? Last card. What some advice for pile number 2? This one. Okay. Running out of space on my desk. Apologies if there are any sounds that are not pleasing. Okay. We'll do the oracle cards. So, what some nice. Oh, these two wanted to come out together, so I'll pull them together. That was really interesting. Okay, so that's it for the literary witches. And then the crystal cards. One is nice. Number two. This one. Okay. So pile number two is done. And last but not least, reach over here. Okay. So, pile number three. Adorable Kawaii Tarot deck. It's gonna shift pile number two a little bit so my sleeve doesn't catch on that. Okay. What is some general advice for pile number three, universe? For love between now and the beginning 2023. What some general advice for pile number three from now till 2023. Sorry if that was too loud. What? So, really wanted to come out. Oopsie. The cards are like going topsy-turvy. Okay. Last one. Some advice. Pile number three. Let's go. Okay. And then the fairy witches again. What is some sorry, I just kind of felt that one immediately. Okay. What is some advice for pile number three? For love from now till 2023. Okay. And then the last crystal card. So I'm sorry if this is it's not as neat and perfect. Okay. There we go. One. Some general advice from pile number three. This one. Okay. Okay, so if picking from the back of the tarot cards wasn't enough for you to make your decision, I pulled out the first card from underneath the deck because those will be the general energies of that pile. So for pile one, we have the Six of Wands, once again with the Aquamarine stone. And then we have pile number two with the Nine of Swords, beautiful Nine of Swords, with the Jasper, the blue Jasper. I can't quite seem to sit up straight. And then last but not least, we have the Seven of Wands with the Quartz Geode. So take a moment to maybe meditate and pick whichever one is just calling out to you. Hi, pile number 1. So, you picked the Six of Wands and the Aquamarine stone. So this is actually a beautiful Six of Wands in terms of the plant that's growing. But this is going to be your general energies, and we'll go over the tarot cards first before we go over the oracle cards, just like last time. So I'm going to set your beautiful stone right up here, and the card right there. We might need to move as need be, but we'll figure it out. Okay. So, the next card that we have, it's gonna be the sun. Very radiant, indeed. And then next, we have Two of Pentacles. Okay, I see. I see how it is. Shift these upwards. Might move this little guy just a smidge over to make some room. And then last but not least, we have the Ten of Wands. Okay. I see. So now we'll look at the oracle cards. We'll start with the literary witches and then end with the crystal. So, for the first card you have the cat. And for the second, you have pond. Sorry, I didn't show off the cat a little bit more. So cat and the pond. For your oracle cards, try to squeeze those guys up in here. And then for the crystal, you have Celestite. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Celestite. It says, communicating with angels, tranquility, good fortune, and deep meditation. Okay. So I think I'll actually look up the literary witch's meaning for these two guys first before we start delving into the tarot cards. So just give me one moment, please, while I go grab that book. Okay, I'm back with the literary witch's oracle book, and we'll read what it says for the cat first. So the cat means the untamed, self-ownership, and watching. Then, if we look at the pond, it says looking inward, inspiration, uncertainty. Okay. clarifies an inkling that I was getting when I was first looking at the cards. So, in terms of general advice, there are burdens in terms of your love life and your relationship that you are currently carrying. This could be maybe a relationship that didn't quite work out, or it could just be your own personal insecurities. You know, sometimes we get those very negative, intrusive thoughts that tell us we're not good enough, when that is definitely not the case. So it feels like you're still carrying those burdens, and before you can be able to move on into a relationship, you need to be able to let those go. And that's why the pond is saying to look inward, because we cannot be in a fulfilling relationship if we ourselves are not fulfilled first and foremost, ultimately. And it's not that you can necessarily be 100% fulfilled, but you need to at least be maybe like 95-97% fulfilled, because we all have issues, and just because you have issues doesn't mean that you shouldn't find love, but you need to be able to start taking care of those issues before it becomes too much to handle, and then you're putting those burdens on that other person within your relationship. And it's a terrible thing to do, because it can cause more hurt in the long run. And that's also why you have the untamed. There's something that you need to tame within yourself. And this is especially true when we look at the Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles is about really finding balance and finding tranquility within yourself. And the cards show a prosperous outcome because you have the Six of Wands as your overall energies. So it's an overall victory energy. In the traditional tarot, it shows a gentleman coming back from war riding on horseback, and there are people throwing flowers celebrating because he was victorious. So in order to prosper, you have to be able to overcome this internal battle, and then you will have your true happiness, which is this Sun card. And the Sun kind of represents, in the original deck, it's got a child riding in front of it, so it could be something maybe you need to sort out from your childhood. Or on the Sun card, the original Sun card, there's also a wall, so maybe you need to work on letting down that wall, and then people will come towards you, your soulmates, because your soulmates are innately drawn to you. It's just a matter of when in this timeline, in this dimension, that you're gonna meet them. And the thing is too that strikes me about this particular Sun card, right, is I don't know if you can see it because the camera might not be clear enough. Sorry, I'm trying to pick up this guy. But this Sun card in particular, the Sun only has one eye that has a pupil. This other eye is completely blank. So it shows that you're still not getting the full vision, the full clarity of what you need to do in order to be ready to move on to a new relationship, if that makes sense. So you need to gain that other eye back through finding balance. And maybe that might be through meditating, taking the time to just look inward. And that makes sense too with the actual aquamarine itself, because the aquamarine is calming in its nature. But yeah, let me actually let me clarify this Two of Pentacles. Let's see if the deck will allow us to ask how you can achieve balance, right? Because it's easier said than done most of the time. So it might say the same thing, but it's worth to give it a try. So we'll move the oracle cards here, and we'll grab the Rider Waite Tarot deck. So, what can pile number 1 do to achieve this one? To achieve balance. What can pile number 1 do to achieve balance? This one. Okay. Oh, and then interesting, the bottom of the deck is Temperance, so definitely an overemphasis on the balance. You know, when we think of water too, water is our flow of emotion. It represents the heart, and so you see the water flowing from each cup, maintaining balance within each cup. And water needs to be able to flow, or else whenever you experience standing water, that's where it breeds illness and disease. So you really have to let your emotions flow and balance whatever this untamedness, and I'm pointing at the cat is off over here beside the cat, whatever this burden is on the inside. So over here, and we'll have a look at these. Oh, so we have the moon, and then we have the 10 of Wands. I can't, yeah, so this is definitely confirmation that you need to deal with this issue first and find balance before you can even think about getting into a relationship, or even if you are in a relationship, and maybe it's not going in the direction that you wanted, you need to sort this issue out. And when we look at the moon, there are 2 different pathways on the moon. There's one that's illuminated, that has a nice dog, and it's just a wonderful stroll in the park. And then on the other side, there's this nasty wolf, and it's hidden in darkness. So it's definitely emphasizing for you to turn inward and to make sure you're staying on the right path. You have to follow what your heart believes in. And sometimes it can get murky, and there may be moments where you are confused, but you have to take that moment and breathe. And ultimately, if you're able to discern upon this path, then you'll be able to find your happiness. I also think it's interesting where the sun goes, the moon goes. Another thing about balance. Okay. So, that is it for you, pile number 1. I hope you enjoyed. I hope there was something, that you could take from this reading. I know it's a little vague, but I mean, the moon card is always kind of vague, and it seems like this is a problem that you need to search within yourself to figure out. But yeah, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, because that might be advice for somebody else out there. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Hi, pile number 2. So you chose the 9 of Swords, the beautiful 9 of Swords, with the blue Jasper, which is very good for the heart, very good for healing in particular. So this 9 of Swords will be your general energies, and like my other video, we will go through the actual tarot cards first before we go looking at the oracles. So let me put your card right over here so we can get a good side of it, and then I'll put this in a lovely stone right here. Always turn sideways. I guess we'll let it be. Okay. So let's have a look at the rest of the cards that came out. So, my goodness. So, we have the 2 of Swords. Oh, interesting. Interesting 2 of Swords. And then, for your 3rd card, have the Chariot. Oh my goodness. Fast tidings ahead, huh? And last but not least, we have Judgment. Judgment has been called. Okay. So now, let's have a look at the literary witches and see if they can give us a little bit of guidance. The first one is, Anna Akhmatova for endurance. The second card that we have is Anne Carson, intellect. And then for your crystal card, we have Sapphire, channeled wisdom, psychic ability, self-expression, and destiny. Okay, so I'll move these over here. And first and foremost, we will read what the witches have to tell us to help bring clarity towards their situation. So we have Anna Akhmatova. Her card represents staying with pain, avoiding pain, and patience. Anna Akhmatova was celebrated during and beyond her lifetime for her lyric, melancholy poetry. As Russia fell under Stalin, Akhmatova and her circle of artists and intellectuals were persecuted for their work. Her son was in prison and sent to labor camps, and her husband was executed. Akhmatova's most famous poem, Requiem, is her boldest attempt at capturing the Stalinist terror. Very interesting. And then we have Anne Carson. Represents intellectual growth, delights of the mind, but also plagues of the mind. Anne Carson, a prolific writer of poems, essays, and various literary hybrids, works with themes of lost family members, love and lust, religion, and the intellectual tradition. The combination of this MacArthur Fellowship recipient's austerity, startling insights, and relentless questioning is as awe-inspiring and explosive as the volcanoes she has been known to paint. Carson is also a scholar of ancient Greek and Latin texts and a champion of fellow witches, having translated Sappho and written about Emily Bronte and Virginia Woolf. So there is definitely an emphasis on being an intellectual, or maybe you're somebody who spends a lot of time within their mind, and that maybe is the issue, because the Nine of Swords, the swords themselves within the tarot deck, represent the mind, and the mind itself is a double-edged sword. It can help control your confidence, things that are really helpful for your life, but it can also ruin you in terms of negative thoughts and your self-esteem. And so it seems here that you've been struggling, and there's something that's making you anxious, something that's just eating up at you that you can't quite let go of, and you've been enduring this for a while, and it's on the brink of exploding, like this volcano that Anne Carson paints. And so before that happens, you need to be able to make a choice, and this choice is really what's going to propel you forward in terms of your love life. And maybe this could be between two people. Maybe you have two people that you're interested in, and it's been eating away at you, having to choose one over the other. Or it could not even be another person at all. It could be your person and maybe work. Maybe you've been working a lot, or have been studying a lot, or spending more time with family, or choosing something over that person, and it's been weighing really heavy on you. So you can see by people crying and distraught. So it's up to you to make that choice. And the thing that really stands out to me, especially in both of these cards, is that right above her head is a phoenix. And a phoenix rises from the ashes, rises from within the fire and the turmoil, and this beautiful lady with the Two of Swords is also surrounded by fire. So even though things are really stressful, you need to spend some time and make a decision, but make a thoughtful decision and make a heartfelt decision in order for you to be able to move forward. You need to call judgment on this, whether or not this is right for you, or this person is right for you, or it couldn't even be a person. Maybe you're anxious about going outside and meeting someone. Maybe you're a more introverted person, or you live in this area of comfort. You stay within your comfort zone and you're not willing to move forward, but you understand that living in this comfort zone brings nothing. You have to be able to try something new and charge forward in order to meet new people. So maybe that is also what's going on. And so you have to make the choice of whether or not to stay within your comfort zone or to leave your comfort zone in search of something better, in search of something brighter. And I feel like that situation too, it channels really well with this sapphire because self-expression is important. So maybe if you're somebody who expresses themselves through dance, maybe take dance classes in order to meet new people, or if you like art, take an art class, or go out to an art museum by yourself. I think one of the or a piece of advice that really resonated with me from actually another tarot reader is that in order for you to manifest, you have to already act like you have it. So if you want love, then you take yourself out on a date. You go out and have dinner alone because you already have it, right? So you already have it. The universe will give it to you because you already have it. So this is kind of what that self-expression is reading off to me. You know what? I kind of want to get a little bit more information on I was like, there's a lot of different cards that we could potentially clarify, but I'll move the ladies, the witches over here off to the side along with this sapphire. So we know that you have to make a decision. I wonder, you know what, I'm going to pull on this Nine of Swords, actually. I was debating about pulling on this Two of Swords, but I feel like the universe is just going to kind of repeat the same thing. I get that energy off of it. So let's get into more specific about these anxieties and these worries, because inherently it's connected to this Two of Swords, and maybe it might help you see something that you haven't seen before, because sometimes people do and continue to act in the way that they do without really thinking about it. So let's clarify with the Rider-Waite deck for this Nine of Swords. I'll actually shift this down. So we'll clarify this Nine of Swords. And maybe that might make it easier to as to what choice you have to make. So can you clarify this Nine of Swords? Can you clarify this Nine of Swords for pile number 2? Oh, that one. At the bottom of the deck, what do we have? We have the Moon. So it's definitely something that's a little murky. There's one path on the Moon card that's bright and is the right path to move forward, that has flowers and wonderful dog on it, but there's another path that's hidden that has dangers. that has a hungry wolf on it. So definitely in relation to the Two of Swords over here. But let's see what this Nine of Swords is. So the first one that popped out is we have Four of Pentacles, and then the Devil. So actually there's room to scooch these guys over to get a full picture. So this reads off. So the Four of Pentacles is about being reserved, and in a way you're controlling your emotions so that you don't get hurt. You're saving your pentacles, you're holding them tightly to your chest so they can never be taken from you. And the Devil is all about control. Obviously it can be about lust as well, but essentially what it means is about being in control. And you can see that through the fact that the Devil has these two people chained together. So even if they wanted, they found other people that they love and have a loving relationship, they'll move from each other, but then they'll end up snapping back like a rubber band because they're being forced into this connection. So really what I get in connection with this Nine of Swords is you're trying to control too much. There are some things in this life that you cannot control, and that's what's driving you to have anxieties about everything, especially in your relationships. And sometimes you just have to be able to make the choice to let things flow for you. So let go of this controlling and manipulative aspect within you, because it's not this behavior is not what's going to open your heart. It's just going to keep it closed forever. So if you're looking for a relationship or you're interested in someone, you really need to abandon this way of thinking. It's almost like for lack of a better term, it's almost like fuckboy energy, where you're just trying to be manipulative and maybe get attention. Maybe you don't even realize that you're doing that. Sometimes we don't even realize that, like, that's what we're doing because we get so caught up in things. So yes, definitely release control on it, because ultimately you can't change your fate or the person that you're going to fall in love with. You can only move forward and do what's best for you in terms of your own happiness and the things that bring you abundance. So don't be trying to control any other outside forces or another person's feelings. And if it's the case where you're trying to manipulate or control another person's feelings, then it's gonna come back around to you in terms of karma. There's good karma and there's bad karma. So I would definitely abandon any of those controlling, manipulative tendencies. If you want to move forward, you have to make that choice. If you want to continue, and you know what, I think it's emphasized even more by this reservedness, by this intellect, because there is a feeling when you feel the actual swords themselves, it's associated with air, and it's almost like a coldness. It's a cold, intelligent, detached way of thinking. So you have to abandon this detached way of thinking, because at the center of love is the cups, the water. Water is what holds emotion. It's what holds the heart. It's what creates life. And if you actually notice, there's rain, there are waves, but there's a lot of air and fire and dry. It feels like dryness, so you need to let that go. Pile number 2. Or maybe if it's not you, maybe it's this other person that you're interested in that's trying to manipulate you. That's being reserved and being this like cold intellect in this kind of like situationship where it's 1 foot in and 1 foot out, and they're for lack of better words, using you for your attention or your goodness, and that's causing you anxiety because you're like, hey, I want an actual relationship, I want a real partner. So maybe you have to make that choice to leave them for something better. You see how he's looking up at the sun? And the Chariot too is about moving forward with conviction. So it could be you, it could be the partner that you're interested in, or but yeah. Okay. I think that's it for you, pile number 2. I hope you were able to find something that really resonates with you moving forward, and yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hi, pile number 3. So you had the beautiful 7 of Wands with this cute little hamster and his little stick, and then the crystal Geode. So first we will go over your tarot cards before we dive into the oracle cards, and then we'll clarify as needed with the Rider Waite deck. But the 7 of Wands is going to be your overall energy, and put this guy up here, and put this crystal right over here. Okay. So, before I start saying anything, have a look at the cards. Okay, so the second card that you have is going to be the 4 of Wands. Lovely little sloths. And then for the third card, you have the Queen of Coins. Interesting. And then the last card that you have is going to be the Ace of Wands, okay? I'm not gonna lie, this is looking really good so far. I might actually have to slide these down because I feel like this makes more sense. Okay, and then we will look at the oracle cards for further clarification. So the first oracle card that you have is Tori Morrison, who stands for power. I'll put her right over here. And the second letter A witch's card that you have is mushrooms. Kind of goes very well with the plants over here on this card. Actually, they have, 2 of them have very fun flowers and plant themes. And then the last card, the crystal card, is it's Aquamarine. it's her Aquamarine over here, that's kind of funny, which is water healing, compassion, speaking your truth, and compromise. That's so funny. Okay, start this off, I will read the Literary Witches entry for Toni Morrison and Mushrooms. So let me get that book over here. Have a look. Okay, so Toni Morrison represents owning power, seizing power, and the powers at play. No American writer is more honor-laden than regal Toni Morrison, who's born to a working-class family in Lorain, Ohio, a frequent setting for her epic novels of Black experience. Her most famous work, Beloved, has become required reading, but wave that unjust homework away. Seek this novel for the haunted story it is, a deeply spooky and moving ghost about a vengeful baby ghost, or spooky and moving book about a vengeful baby ghost, yes, sorry. And then, go over to Mushrooms, Quiet Growth, the Hidden, and Peace. Yes, I'm getting a lot of power, a lot of growth that very much emanates off of these cards. So it looks like right now you may be feeling a little defensive in terms of your love life or your relationships. Maybe you are just not quite finding the right person. But it's not for lack of trying, or if you are interested in a person, maybe there might be like something that's off about it. And you're instead of focusing necessarily on that person, you're focusing more so on yourself. Or maybe if you are already in a relationship, you're focusing on you and the relationship itself, instead of maybe attacking that person or arguing with that person or getting mad at that specific person. And so in a way you're cultivating your own power, and you're growing in terms of your emotional maturity and how you handle yourself. And the whole point of the Queen of Wands is that she's very patient. She's willing to wait for all of these beautiful flowers to grow. She works really hard too, so she puts in the effort, she puts in the work, and you know what, it yields her back in return in these beautiful flowers and this abundance that's all around her, and these little animals that just want to stay by her. And so that's the beautiful thing about the Queen of Coins. So if you're working on yourself, or if you're in a relationship currently, you're working on that relationship, and there's an opportunity that's gonna come because you're working on this growth. You're working on being compassionate, and you're not only speaking your truth, but you're also willing to compromise with your partner or whoever it is that you want to be with, or your future partner. You're learning to compromise, and that's the most important part of a relationship, is being able to communicate, because it goes both ways. And so through you cultivating yourself, you're bringing yourself an opportunity and ultimately a relationship that is fruitful. And the Four of Wands is a very happy card. It's essentially the card of marriage. So maybe because you're cultivating yourself, you might actually meet your soulmate, or the person who you will marry in the future. I can't say what time, because we are all on very different timelines. It could be within the next 3 years, within the next 5 years, within the next 10 years. But the point is that whoever it is that you're meeting through this opportunity because of your self-growth is gonna be your soulmate. And I keep looking at the Ace of Wands, and it makes me laugh because it's not just me. There are other tarot readers who read this card in a very let's say spicy way, just because of the wand has particular shape. So I don't know if you get in a relationship, that could be something that, you know, is good. I don't really anyways, but the Ace of Wands definitely signals new beginnings. It's new beginnings, and even though you have taken this time, and you know, maybe in terms of your growth, and you're not like talking about it, you're growing, but you're not being cocky about it, and you're not sharing it with everybody. It's just something that's really personal, that is just for you and whoever it is that maybe your future partner can enjoy. And because of that, you're having a quick, fast opportunity. That's another thing, is that contrary to the Ace of Pentacles, which is like a seed that needs time to plant and to grow, the Ace of Wands just kind of comes in and goes, bam, there you go, there's your opportunity. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, even though things might be difficult now, there's definitely a lot of hope in your future. So let me I want to clarify. I'm going to be shifting these cards over just so I have space to clarify, because I actually want to clarify this Ace of Wands. I'm curious as to what opportunity is going to show up for you in terms of love, because there are a lot of different opportunities. So let's see. I'll be using the Rider-Waite Tarot deck. So can you clarify There's Wands for pile number 3? Sky. Oh, sorry. Can you clarify? There's Wands. Okay. And then we'll have a look at the bottom of the deck. So the bottom of the deck is 3 of Wands, which means you're in a planning stage right now. You're planning, or maybe you're thinking about the things that you want in love. Like, what do you want in a partner? How do you want to live your life for a partner? How do you want to be as a partner? You're thinking of all these different things, and you're planning it. You're trying to get an overview of the landscape of what's going on right now, and you're standing strong in your position. So, and it could be too because of all these, like inadequate inadequate options. I think options is a good word. So maybe, you're meeting people that just aren't quite right. So it's making you think about, like, what is gonna be right for me in terms of a person. So that's at the bottom of the deck. And then let's see what cards we actually pulled. So the first one, it's 4 of Wands again. So maybe it's also, this is just confirmation that you're gonna achieve your happiness. That's for sure. Okay, let's look at the second one before I say anything. And it's the Queen of Wands. Okay. Okay. So what I see, other than this is just a blatant confirmation that, like, this is gonna be, your person, or you're gonna meet someone who's your person fairly soon, is the celebration aspect of it. And the thing about the Queen of Wands too is she's really outgoing. Like, she's fiery, she's sexy, she like does not care about what anyone else thinks. And it's proof because of this black cat, because black cats were considered to be bad luck in terms of history. So she doesn't care. She's gonna have that black cat, and she's gonna rule with all of her confidence, you know. So maybe there's some sort of party. I know, at least right now, I mean, it's the winter solstice, so it's the 21st. So there's gonna be a lot of Christmas parties, so maybe you might get invited to a Christmas party or a New Year's celebration. Oh, New Year's, could be New Year's. You know, we're celebrating the New Year, some kind of celebration where you're gonna meet this person that could possibly be the one for you. You know, your soulmate or your twin flame in there. There is a difference between the two of them, but I will talk about that in a separate video. But yeah, so happy for you, pile number 3. This is really good reading for you. So I would remain hopeful. I'd keep working on yourself, doing what you're doing. You know, and yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you were able to take something that resonates with you and, you know, to leave what doesn't, because that is definitely for somebody else out there. So thank you guys so much, and I hope you enjoyed.